Valerie Bertinelli was one of Food Network's most beloved stars, thanks to her gig as the joyful host of Kids Baking Championship. So why did they dump her? Paula Deen was a staple of the Food Network for a long time. On her show, Paula's Home Cooking, she brought Southern comfort into people's homes. Her recipes tended to be on the unhealthy side, sparking some discussion and prompting chef Anthony Bourdain to call Deen the worst, most dangerous person on television.
Her brand is excess without guilt.
Nevertheless, Deen's show ran for 10 years, from 2002 until 2012, and even won 2 daytime Emmys. Then, scandal struck. In 2013, Deen admitted in a court deposition that she had, of course, used the N-word. This admission in itself was enough to tank the chef, but Deen also admitted that she considered hiring a team of all-black waiters for her brother's wedding to fit with the event's old plantation theme. Due to these overtly racist admissions, the Food Network announced in June 2013 that it would not be renewing Deen's contract. She eventually found a safe landing spot at Fox Nation. Known for her show, Giada at Home, as well as being a host on popular shows such as Food Network star, Giada De Laurentiis was part of the network's DNA. But in 2023, De Laurentiis announced that she was leaving the Food Network. The chef, known for her Italian flair, decided it was time to move on. She has since launched her own pasta line and e-commerce platform, Giadzy, and signed a new deal with Amazon Studios for a multi-year contract to produce an unscripted series. Of the move, De Laurentiis said in a press statement, "I'm looking forward to this next chapter. I've been a fan of Amazon for a long time, and I'm excited for what we will accomplish together." Food Network and De Laurentiis remain on good terms. However, after the chef's departure, the network told People, "Food Network will always be proud of the beautiful content we have created together, and our table will always have an open seat for Giada." Emeril Lagasse, the famous chef behind the catchphrase "BAM!", basically made the Food Network what it is today. He started making appearances on the network in 1993 before launching his hit show, Emeril Live, which aired from 1997 until 2007. Emeril Live was still incredibly popular when it ended in 2007, leaving viewers and industry executives stumped as to why Food Network canceled the show. The reason was that Food Network was shifting away from instructional cooking shows in favor of competition shows. After Lagasse's departure, one executive told the New York Times, "All good things come to an end, and it was time to do something new." After leaving Food Network, Lagasse moved on to other shows, but lately the chef has stepped away from the spotlight. His New Orleans restaurant, Emeril's, has been in business for over 30 years, and he remains very involved to this day. Julia Child was the OG of cooking shows, so it's only fitting that one of her protégés, Sara Moulton, was one of Food Network's original chefs. Moulton's show, Cooking Live, ran 4 nights a week on the Food Network in the late 90s, helping introduce future stars like Ming Tsai, Aarón Sánchez, and Anthony Bourdain to the world. But then, she was fired. Moulton told Eater in 2010 that her show was canceled because the network's demographic shifted from women to 15 to 35-year-old males, saying, "I didn't move. They dumped me. I'll say it. I was part of the old guard, and every time a new president comes in, they make changes." When Cooking Live ended, Moulton began making regular appearances on Good Morning America and developed a show for PBS called Sarah's Weeknight Meals. On top of that, she was the executive chef at Gourmet magazine until its run ended in 2009. Since 2012, she has run a syndicated newspaper column for the Associated Press. Alton Brown is a name that has been synonymous with Food Network for 2 decades. He was the creator and star of Good Eats, which ran from 1999 until 2012. He also hosted 2 of Food Network's most popular competition shows, Cutthroat Kitchen and Iron Chef America. But Brown left after 2020 because he wanted to continue to work on Iron Chef, which left Food Network for a Netflix reboot. Brown told Entertainment Weekly, "If Netflix had taken a shot at Iron Chef without me, that would have broken my heart." Brown also spoke to Variety about the topic, saying, "There was never a second thought for me. It meant removing myself from one network, but that was not a hard decision." But Brown is not necessarily done with Food Network forever, telling Entertainment Weekly, "You know what? I don't think goodbye. Goodbye is really final. Perhaps au revoir or adieu for now." Ming Tsai got his start on Sara Moulton's show Cooking Live and went on to host East Meets West with Ming Tsai from 1998 until 2003. Eventually, however, Tsai vanished from the network, leaving people wondering why his show was canceled. He told Good Food on Every Table that teaching about food is his greatest passion, and Food Network wasn't really interested in doing that anymore, which is why he started his new show, Simply Ming, on PBS. At a certain point, Food Network became all about competition. I ended up leaving Food Network 14 years ago because I still wanted to teach. That's all we're ever doing is teaching, and Simply Ming, I still get to teach. While he never officially had his own show, Aarón Sánchez was a staple of the Food Network for a long time. Best known for his role as a judge on Chopped, Sánchez brought his expertise in Latin American cuisine to the network. Over the last several years, however, the chef has distanced himself from the Food Network and channeled his energy into projects that he is passionate about. The chef has been all over television, starring on Fox's MasterChef as a judge. His most recent project, however, is the result of a partnership between Warner Bros. Discovery US Hispanic, Group M, and Cocina Media. In his show, El Toque de Aarón, the chef travels to different Latino restaurants around Los Angeles to help them succeed. From advising on the menu to changing interiors and branding, Sánchez does everything he can to raise the profile of the restaurants. In an exclusive interview with Mashed, Sánchez said,
"It's all about inspiration and support, and I think that's really what makes it very different and unique."
Pat and Gina Neely were the stars of Down Home with the Neelys, a hit show on Food Network that ran for 6 years from 2008 until 2014. The Neelys, who are barbecue specialists, shared recipes from their kitchen on the show. In September 2014, though, the couple announced they were getting divorced, leading to the show's end and the departure of the Neelys from Food Network. In a statement, the couple wrote, "Today we announce that we are ending our marriage of 20 years for irreconcilable differences." In subsequent interviews with Pat and Gina, it was clear that two chefs had vastly different experiences during their time on Food Network. In an interview with People, Pat said, "I was able to share that with my high school sweetheart, a woman I truly loved, and to be me. I never had to act." Gina, on the other hand, had a more negative experience, telling People, "I never wanted to be a TV chef. I was going to divorce Pat prior to the show, and then all of a sudden, the train jumped on the track, and I had to hold on for my life."
I never wanted to do that show. I never wanted to live my life quite out loud like that.
Sandra Lee hosted Semi-Homemade Cooking with Sandra Lee, which ran on the Food Network from 2003 until 2012. In the show, the star combined fresh and packaged foods to create simple meals that everyone could eat. While the show occasionally drew criticism for not being so-called real cooking, it was still popular among audiences, resulting in dozens of cookbooks and a variety of other collaborations and projects for the chef. After her show ended in 2012, Lee left the Food Network. At the time, she was in a relationship with the then governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo. The main reason she stepped away from the spotlight, it seems, was to focus on her role as the First Lady of New York. Wanting to shift her attention to philanthropy, Lee told the New York Post, "I'm going to use the relationships I have and focus more on what I'm generating into the state of New York." Since 2012, the chef has also undergone several big life changes. She was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2015 and had a double mastectomy performed. She split from Cuomo in 2019 and has since developed a relationship with Ben Youssef. Rachael Ray is one of those chefs who is basically synonymous with the Food Network. Her show 30-Minute Meals started on the network in 2001, giving her the platform to launch her syndicated talk show, Rachael Ray, which ran from 2006 until its end in 2023. When the Rachael Ray show ended, rumors circulated that Ray was going to sign a huge deal to return to Food Network. However, that wasn't the case. Instead of returning to the network, Ray opted to launch her own production company, Free Food Studios, which was formed in 2023 by the star and several collaborators. It seemed that Ray wanted more freedom than Food Network could offer her. As she told Salon, "Food Network has a terrific formula, but they have a formula. I want a little more freedom to be in charge of the actual content, rather than just hosting something. I don't want to host anything. I just want to make shows." While not trained as a chef, actor Valerie Bertinelli had quite the run at Food Network. The deal began in 2015 and resulted in Bertinelli hosting several popular programs for the network, including Valerie's Home Cooking and the Kids Baking Championship. But Bertinelli recently left the network after it opted not to renew her multi-series contract. Bertinelli's manager told Variety, "Her deal expired. They opted not to renew it. They could have come to me with an offer just for Kids Baking Championship. They never did. Simple as that." Bertinelli told her Instagram followers that she she thinks the decision to cut ties with her was due to budget cuts. In a video on the social media platform, Bertinelli, who went through a difficult divorce during her time at Food Network, said, without sounding like a drama queen, Kids Baking Championship saved my life.
It really hurt my feelings to know that I'm not going to be asked back to be on Kids Baking Championship. It really sucks.
While she is hurt that she is unable to return to the network, Bertinelli insists there are no hard feelings. The star wrote on X, formerly known as Twitter, "I have zero ill will toward anyone at Food Network. I enjoyed every single moment I worked for them, and they are all lovely, kind, hardworking people." Michael Chiarello was a chef from the early days of the Food Network. His show, Easy Entertaining, with Michael Chiarello, ran for 10 seasons in the 2000s. On the show, Chiarello aimed to teach his viewers how to entertain guests and cook like a pro with minimal stress. His show ended amidst the Food Network transformation that made way for more competitive entertainment. Still, Chiarello continued to make appearances on the network, appearing on shows such as Next Iron Chef and Chopped. In 2016, however, Chiarello was sued by 2 former employees for allegedly creating a sexually charged, hostile, and abusive environment. According to Eater, the chef, plagued with allegations related to the Me Too movement, didn't reappear on the Food Network again. Chiarello passed away in October 2023 from an acute allergic reaction, resulting in anaphylactic shock. He was 61 years old.